Okay. Is everybody comfortable in English, or would you rather, who would prefer Hindi, or is okay, comfortable with English? Okay. So I'm going to start in English. Or if you miss anything, please stop me and ask questions. I'd be happy to explain in Hindi. But you should know that the medium of instruction at DSM is English and Hindi. Okay, so you have to be comfortable at least in one of these languages. Has everybody here gone through the prospectus? Hi, Neelam. So nice to see you.
Hello, ma'am.
Where are you, by the way?
I'm currently staying at Malad.
Acha, okay. Have all of you gone through the prospectus? Do you already have a sense of the course and the pedagogy? Or would you like me to go through that once again? How should we do it? Should we start with that? Is everybody familiar with the curriculum? You can just unmute yourselves and say.
I'll first, Ira, sorry, but can I introduce everyone first? All the
Yes, please,
DSM
sir.
members, yeah.
Sure.
So should I start, or are you waiting for some more people?
No, please start. I was just trying to get a sense of where everyone is from.
Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Sachit, and I'll be moderating today's webinar for all of you. And I'll start with introducing all of our DSM members. So we have Iravati Karnik with us. She's the academic head at the Drama School, Mumbai. We have Chanakya Vyas. He's a theatre maker, a playwright, and a teacher, and he's a mentor at the Drama School, Mumbai, and a faculty member. We have two of our alumnus, Vibhanshu Doshi and Meenakshi. Both of them are actors. Vibhanshu is also a spoken word artist and a writer, and Meenakshi is also a trained dancer. And both of them are working with different theatre companies post DSM in Mumbai. So yeah, and please let me know अगर किसी को हिंदी में बात करनी हो या हिंदी में कुछ पूछना हो या I can speak Hindi and English. And yeah, we'll be explaining you about the post-graduation residential course, which will be starting in January. So I'll request Ira to please carry on from here.
Just before Ira begins, that was Sachit Ghai from the same
Yeah.
batch where Meenakshi and Vivanshu was studying. He was the alumni of the residential course itself. So yeah, over to you, Ira. Ira, you're mute. Huh?
Thank you, Ekta. Thank you, Sachit. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This is your opportunity to actually ask as many questions as you want and understand and clarify everything that you want to about this course. That's what we are here for. So as I was asking you about the curriculum, maybe we can start with what that is like. Vaishnavi, this may be a repetition for you, but so keep an eye that you answered, so I'll get into the curriculum a little bit and then we can jump into questions. We can have the others speak, things like that. So at Drama School Mumbai, whether it is the in-city course or the residential course, our pedagogy is divided into three pillars. One is performance, the other is dramaturgy, and the third is creation. Okay, so performance covers your instrument as an actor, which includes both body and voice. Inside of performance, you do conditioning for your body as well as voice, in which you slowly train your body to be used as flexibly and with as much versatility as possible. Similarly, you train your voice so that you can adapt it to different roles, different characters, different requirements of different plays. And you also learn various techniques which give you different approaches into acting. So we don't depend on any one thing like Stanislavski or Michael Chekhov or Lecoq. We actually take the best of many of these techniques and we try to equip our students with as many different approaches to acting as possible, so that you're not just stuck with any one approach. You have a bag of skills and tools at your disposal. So that's what we do through performance. Chanakya, do you want to say a little bit about dramaturgy?
Yeah. Thanks, Ira. So with dramaturgy, just I know some of you might be already aware of what dramaturgy means, but just to give a very simple kind of a definition of what dramaturgy would be, I think dramaturgy is a very inherent process, a very integral process of making a play. Any play that you would conceptualize, whether you're writing it and you're putting it, and essentially I'm speaking about a play which is performed, putting up a play, which is there are several parts to it. So I would say in simple words, it's really the process of how do you really put up a play, which is a very important part of your training, which you would also do as part of your collaborative creations, your weekly creations, etc. So as part of dramaturgy, in order to have a grounding of how you want to put up a play. You may not want to become a playwright, you may not want to become a director, but you might be very much interested in performing. But it's good to know what are the different aspects that go into making a play. So in dramaturgy, we look at kind of three core aspects which help you understand the kind of how play is conceptualized from start to end. One is called as context for theater, which is nothing but giving you an understanding of just a brief understanding of how theater as an art form started, where did it start from, where are we today, what are the different changes that have happened over a period of time. As much as theoretical it sounds, I feel it's also important to know this because it also connects to your performance training. Because in performance also you're training in certain methods, in certain styles, in certain schools of thought. तो अगर आप ड्रामेटर्जी पढ़ेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि आप ये जो ट्रेन कर रहे हैं परफॉर्मेंस में उसका एक्ट शुरू हुआ एक बहुत ही मैं बड़े उसमें बता रहा हूँ बट दीज आर सम ऑफ द कोर एलिमेंट्स यू लर्न इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट. The second thing you learn in dramaturgy is something called as arts and aesthetics, which is also something important because, as you all know, that theater is a very composite art form. It uses visual arts, it uses costume, it uses makeup, it uses set design, several elements, not just acting when a play is put together, right? So in order for you to have an understanding of to develop your aesthetics so that you can make theater which is interesting, which is exciting, which is new, the art and aesthetics course would actually equip you with different movements, different elements that kind of aid in understanding the making of theater. So it may be from the world of arts or visualization with how it can be used in the theater. The third thing that you would do is the writing of a play, right? And the writing of a play is very different from writing a short story or writing a novel or writing a novella, right? Or writing a poem, right? So what are those elements that really make a play distinct from other forms of writing? Yeah. So अगर आप नाटक लिख रहे हैं तो नाटक लिखने के बारे में कैसे सोचें? उसमें उसका जो आइडिया है उसको आप कैसे डेवलप करें? मेरे पास एक आइडिया है पर वो नाटक का फॉर्म कैसे लेगा? उसको हम कहाँ से कहाँ लेके जाएंगे? उसके लिए मुझे क्या टूल्स चाहिए? तो ये तीन मेन पिलर्स है ड्रामेटर्जी के which you will understand in the course, which is something that you will uh, kind of carry together actually till the end of the course, because you will be going through that. You may not go through immediately through playwriting just after having learned playwriting, but you will understand that when you will be actually working with a play script by the end of your course or during the course or during one of your classes with text. So yeah, I've just given you as broad and as much as details I could give with each element, but that's what the dramaturgy course actually consists of. So it is not theory only, it is a lot of understanding of theory in connection with practice.
Thank you, Chanakya. So this is very interesting because many a times students find it, they don't understand why they have to learn all of this other stuff. Why do they have to focus on dramaturgy and writing and aesthetics and context and etc. to become better actors? Trust me, it serves you as a performer. You know, कई बार ऐसे होता है कि हम नाटक बना रहे होते हैं या अपना एक परफॉर्मेंस बना रहे होते हैं और हमें बस इतना समझ में आता है कि कुछ वर्क नहीं हो रहा है, समहाउ जम के नहीं आ रहा है, कुछ लैंड नहीं हो रहा है. तो ये जो सारी एब्स्ट्रैक्ट चीजें हैं कि कुछ वर्क नहीं हो रहा है, what dramaturgy does is it equips you to identify कि problem कहाँ है, क्या work नहीं हो रहा है, और क्या करने से या क्या fix करने से ये work होगा. So all of these are tools that you can use to actually identify these areas of your own performance, of your own play, and get it better. There's one more thing that happens in performance other than voice and body conditioning and acting techniques, and that is script analysis. So what we do in script analysis is we deep dive into a particular text, and your faculty helps you understand the different motivations of characters, what is driving the story forward, why people do the things they do, what the journey and the arc of the play is, so that when you are given a text as a play, as a performer, when you are performing professionally, you know exactly how to plumb that text or how to dig into that text for the most amount of meaning, as much meaning as possible. So that's what script analysis does. And script and performance and dramaturgy come together to form what is known as the creation strand. The creation strand, it happens in it's spread across 3 or 4 different activities. One is in the preparatory semester, which is 12 weeks online. In that preparatory semester, you do something known as the creative creative collaboration lab. Okay, in which you are given a particular task, you are given a particular set of prompts, you are divided into groups, and you collaborate with these groups online to create a piece of performance which is about 10 to 15 minutes long, and you present it to your peers and your faculty at the end of your first unit. Okay, so your first creative collaboration lab is 1 week long, your second creative collaboration lab is 2 weeks long. Now you go through some amount of training, and then you have 1 long week of just this creation work. Then again you go through more training, and at the end of the online semester, the preparatory semester, you go through 2 weeks of this kind of creation work, and you do online but public performances, so you can invite anybody. Okay, to help you with this creation online, we don't just leave you on your own and let you figure it out on your or by yourself. There is actually a module that teaches you how to make work for the online space. Okay, that actually equips you with tools and skills required to make work in the online space. Once the preparatory semester has focused on you as individuals, then you land up at the residency after having done these 2 creative collaboration labs. At the residency, now the creation strand takes the form of what is known as weekly creation tasks. So every Monday morning, your class gets given again a task or a prompt. You form your groups, and at the end of every day, after your classes are done, without any faculty supervision, you work amongst your friends and your classmates, and you prepare for a piece that you perform at the top of every Saturday for your peers and your faculty members. Okay, so at the end of every Saturday, you're performing something. So through your residency, you're constantly engaging in making something, and you're constantly engaging in performing something. And the last part of the creation strand is the last 5 weeks of the residency, where you work with a professional director to put up a play. That play then comes to Bombay. You get to perform at the Mumbai Marathi Sahitya Sangha in Churni Road, as well as another theatre in the city. So you get shows to perform. Okay, so that's how the creation strand looks like. Informally, there is one more aspect to this, which is called Kelewadi Nights. So the gully where drama school is situated in Churni Road is called Kelewadi. So we've called even this activity Kelewadi Nights, where these are like scratch nights, where students come together, collaborate with each other, again without any faculty supervision, and present anything and everything that they think is fun for them. It's not a part of the curriculum, it's not graded, it's not you don't get feedback on it. It's just a space for you to let go and have fun with your classmates. Okay, so those are your 3 strands: performance, dramaturgy, and creation. Okay, they are spread across 2 semesters. One is your online semester, which is the preparatory semester. So even when you make a play, you don't just immediately suddenly start rehearsing on the floor, right? There is a stage where you sit around, you read the text several times, you read other things that are required to understand the play, you research, you talk, you figure out many things, you ask questions, and then when you're ready, you begin your on floor rehearsals. So similarly, the preparatory semester focuses on individual learning, on getting your basics in place, and then you join the residency for 18 weeks of training in person. Okay, so that is mota mota what the residential course is like. I want to open this up for questions now, because we can just keep talking about what we think interests you, and many a times it turns out that that's not what you have questions about. So let's open it up. You can also ask Vibhanshu, Sachit, and Meenakshi questions. All three of them have been through the blended course, as it was called at the time. In fact, we have taken feedback from all of them about how to improve upon the existing residential course, and the one that you all are about to experience from January onwards is possibly the best version that this course could have. So we've already taken a lot of their inputs, a lot of their feedback, and we've improved upon the existing course. So yes, I want to open it up for questions now. Anything that you may have for me, Chanakya, or the alumni, Sachit, Vibhanshu, and Meenakshi, please ask away.
Also, if everyone can please turn on their videos, so it's better to see all of you.
Yeah, whoever can, please turn on your cameras. It would help. Or you can unmute yourself and ask your question, or you can ask your question in the chat. But yeah, what else would you want to know about the course? What are some of your doubts or confusions about the course? Anyone? Can you please explain the design section of dramaturgy? Okay, so for the residential course, there's a slightly lesser focus on design. There is more of a focus on production and entrepreneurship. But the design lab is something that happens in the in-city course. There is a much lesser focus on design with the course, with the residential course as it stands. If there aren't more questions, I want to open it up for Meenakshi, Vibhanshu, and Sachit, and ask you guys, what were some of your reservations going into the residency? And what did your experience, how did your experience of the residency kind of address them, or what changed, what happened, what was your experience like?
Oh, I mind going first. Hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Okay, so as far as my reservations are concerned, while applying for the course, of course, the first question comes to the mind that, okay, why should I study acting online? And even if it is a blended course, the first thing that definitely comes in the picture, in the head, that is that if we're starting with online, will that be benefiting me enough? And how much will I gain from it? All of this, of course, those basic questions that definitely came. But at that time when we were doing it, of course, at that time COVID was pretty much there, and it seemed like something that served me at that time to enhance my skill set as a performer, as an actor. Um, so I went with it, and uh, I can just say that when I completed it, I could understand why the course was designed and structured a certain way. Be it the online section where so much of emphasis. I mean, we were performing so much, even if it was online. We were using digital. We didn't know that this is also something that we can do digitally, like to use to perform. Like currently, digital sphere is opening up so much, so I think it really helped me understand how to gain insight into using uh, using the screen as a medium. But having said that, when I went to the residency, of course, everything changes. You are in a setup with so many people that you have been meeting and online for so many months, and then now you are with them, you live with them, and you create with them, co-create with them every day. I think the biggest takeaway for me was the fact that I was in a place like the residency was a beautiful experience, because not only was I learning every day from obviously these amazing faculties, but also I was living in a place uh, which made me aware about everything and made me absorb so much. So I think I wouldn't have it other way. Yeah, I'll pass it on to Meenakshi or Sajid.
Thank you, Vibhanshu. I'm just going to address Ankit's question before Meena begins. Uh, Ankit, there are two courses that the drama school Mumbai offers. One is the in-city course, which happens in Cherny Road at the Mumbai Marathi Sahitya Sangh, which is a kind of day course. So you reach school at 8 a.m. in the morning, you finish your entire training through the day, and you leave school at about 6:30 in the evening, and you go back home. The second course is the residential course than the in-city course. It's also a cheaper course than the in-city course. What happens in the residential course is that you have a 3-month preparatory semester which happens online, and then you have 18 weeks of training that happens in person but in Y. So for those of you who don't know, Y is this really beautiful idyllic little village in Maharashtra, and there is a resort over there called the Yellow Retreat Resort. It's a small resort which Drama School Mumbai kind of takes over during the time that the residency happens. The only people living on campus at the resort are students and faculty. You have a really beautiful cafe. You have different rooms for your classes. You have sprawling green hills around you. It's really one of the most beautiful and conducive to learning kind of atmospheres that you can ask for. In fact, it would be really nice if Ekta, do you want to share some of the pictures of what the residency looks like? Maybe it'll be clearer. So yes, Ankit, if you are applying for the residential course, then yes, you do your online preparatory semester for 3 months from home, and then you go to बोपर्डीला है का वाई हो actually I think बोपर्डी के पास है the Yellow Retreat Resort. It's
Yeah,
really
इसके
beautiful.
पास ही है यार.
हाँ, बोपर्डी के पास है. Would you like to see some of the pictures? You want to see what the residency looks like? Yeah? Okay. Rugved is now, if he's turned on his camera and is shaking his head, I have to respect that. Itta, are you here?
यस ईरा, मैं ये शो कर रही हूँ,
हाँ.
मैं present कर रही हूँ. मेरी स्क्रीन है विजिबल है सबको?
हाँ, visible है, visible.
तो ये है अमोद सर है ना?
हाँ,
Yes.
music
So
classes
he
by Amod sir.
teaches. Amod sir used to train at NSD. He's taught at NSD for many years, and he also teaches for DSM. He will teach you music. He will teach you songs that become a really kind of indivisible and invaluable part of your training. I think all of us carry these songs with so much love through the rest of our lives. Yeah, this is the gallery space where they're doing movement. Was this Dia's class or was this Hetal's class? Which one is this?
This was class with
co-
Ram.
This is Kalari with
This is
Rajesh.
Kalari. Okay, body condition.
Rajiv.
Okay.
Sorry, हाँ, yeah.
This is, I think, feedback after WTC.
Yeah,
right?
WCT, the feedback
WCT,
session
yeah.
after the WCT.
So we had after the weekly creation. Oh, this is Vanya feedback or what?
Yes, Uncle Vanya.
So they had a scene study, a weekly creation task in which they were divided into 4 groups. Each group performed one act of Uncle Vanya, and through 1 week, just with 1 week of work, they had essentially put up the whole play for us. So, and this was the feedback session afterwards. This is the cafe, which is where most of the danga happens. Is this your box? Is this your memory box and your achievement box that you're reading?
I think we're celebrating someone's birthday.
Someone's
yeah.
birthday.
Ayush's birthday.
Ayush's birthday.
This is another space.
WCT, it's a WCT performance which we have.
So what students also end up doing is there are many different areas on campus, and sometimes students choose different areas on campus to do site specific work. So we don't just stick to one space as a performance space, but students get creative about where they want to do their performance and choose various areas on campus. This is again in the middle of the weekly creation task
I
performance.
think this is Meena only. Am I right, Meena?
Yeah, this is
I remember
Meena.
this act very well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the one in the black sari in the corner.
Very nice. Can we see some outdoorsy stuff, Sheetal?
Yes.
Ankit has also asked what the starting date is. Ekta, can you clarify that?
Uh,
29 January. The
So
batch starts from 29
Ankit,
January.
29th of January is when the course will begin, and it's a total of 35 weeks.
Lekha
So the
has
course
asked
would
ki,
end by last week of September.
what kind of studio space is
Space is
required for
for the
the
preparatory semester. It is
yeah.
not really a studio space. You can make it happen in your room. So before the preparatory semester begins, actually you're given all the instructions about how to set up a good space for learning inside your own house. It's just about figuring out a backdrop, figuring out a particular area to perform in, and setting it up such that your faculty can get a very clear view of you while they train you. So that becomes essential. Your faculty being able to view you very clearly as you take instructions from them. But all of that you get help with. It will not be assumed. You will be told exactly how to set up the space. Here, they're doing some of their conditioning exercises outside.
This is the morning ritual which we used to do every morning.
Sheetal, show other images also, no?
Yes.
This in the left hand corner, this tiny figure with his hands behind, is that Vineet?
Yes, it's Vineet.
So Vineet is the residency manager. He's a naturalist by profession, and he organizes these weekend night hikes and whatnot. So all kinds of shenanigans happen in the residential course that unfortunately the city kids just do not get access to.
Yeah.
How many weeks in the city course? The city course is an 11-month course, and it has already begun at the end of August. Now you can only apply for the city course next year. Are there more outside pictures, Shital?
We definitely have. Sheetal, would you want to give me access so I
Yeah.
can share it with them?
So one thing is, I mean, we continue to look at pictures and stuff. One thing is very clear in the residency, which is that space is a huge luxury you get to enjoy that you do not get to enjoy for the in-city course. It's a completely immersive experience because you're there 24/7. Your faculty members are living on campus with you. You have access to them like nowhere else. You're also living with your classmates. There is a kind of sense of journey with your ensemble that you get that is much more kind of close and intense compared to your in-city journey. So yeah, both courses have their advantage. But I mean, since we're here to talk about the residential course, that's what we'll stick to. Any questions? Any more questions that people have?
Guys, if you have any questions, please ask. We are all here for you. So, कुछ भी आपका सवाल है, anything you want to ask about the residency, about the digital course, please go ahead.
I'll just share pictures in some time. Sheetal is finding some
Sure,
challenge.
sure.
She's just giving me access and I'll show you.
Meenakshi, you want to talk?
Yes, I will.
Sorry, but let me just ask one thing. I'll just address that. Continue my part-time job, which is 7 to 11
7 to 11.
in the evening. Actually, that is not undoable physically. We usually discourage students from doing anything else while they're doing the course because there tends to be homework. It is an extremely demanding course. So both physically and mentally, you get fatigued. So it's not that you won't have time to spare from 7 to 11. If you plan your day really well, and if your group sticks to its WCT work and finishes it by 7, it's doable. But uh, I would suggest you don't try and juggle both, because it becomes extremely difficult to manage. We've had students who have kind of not told the school and continued a part-time job on the side and done it anyway, but they have suffered. It's very demanding, so it's difficult to do. So my recommendation would be, don't do it. Just for these 35 weeks, make time for yourself. I don't know who Galaxy M20 is, but sure, stay as much as you
Yeah.
can. It's up to you. Yeah, sorry, Meenakshi. Lots of interruptions before you talk.
No problem. I'm sorry. I'm sitting at the airport, which is why I'm like gonna run to the gate after this. But I think Vivanshu covered like most of what I wanted to say. But one thing that I do think is really something that is a luxury, you said, was space, but also the fact is that in our lives in general, we live in a place where everything is so fast paced, and we're constantly, especially a city like Mumbai, after moving here in the last 3 months, I've realized that you don't get any time for yourself almost. And it becomes very difficult to create that space for yourself when you want to create a learning environment. And in some sense, when you do the residential course, the residency itself gives you that physical break from the city and all of that clutter. And I think you're able to absorb a lot more because you're able to do it without, that thinking like about how long will it take for me to get to class, or, and I think I really benefited from that. And I think a lot of my classmates benefited from that. But also, aside from that, I think with the weeks that we had online, for me specifically, I think it was kind of nice because I was very apprehensive about even trying very basic things like in voice class, just letting out the sound of how my body felt at that moment. Um, because of various levels of conditioning that we all go throughout our childhoods and everything. But I think that privacy of doing things in your own space, in some sense, you're in your home environment when you start out the course, which is your comfort space for like most people. And you're really throwing yourself out there completely when you start doing something as mad as deciding that you want to become a theater person. So I think like those two things really that like just by design or by circumstance, whatever it was that the residential course was structured like, like this, I think those things actually ended up benefiting us because the reality is also that when you're out of theater school, you have to keep up that riyaz or that practice for yourself, and you have to really give yourself a structure, which in some sense we were introduced to the taste of what that might be like online. Because I think also because mode. The play that we were working on, because renting a space to call all your actors or something, for example, might be very expensive. So often it does happen that you do have a few rehearsals in person and you do have rehearsals on Zoom, right? So I don't believe that at the end of the course it will be like a Zoom. We'll keep for Zoom. I'm just kidding. That's an aside. But I really think that if you are looking at the residential course and looking at it for what it is giving you, rather than comparing this in city versus this, which is inevitable, and it's a long conversation that we've all had in some sense. But if you're really thinking about it, like what is best for like my personal growth as like an individual, I think that's a really good place to start to see if this is the right course also for you. And just being honest with yourself, because also for a lot of people, like I couldn't move to Bombay to do like a full 1 year course initially. Like I think now I've been equipped with the vocabulary and the knowledge and like the network of people that like I was able to make that move. But I think it's also a course that really like allows people from outside of Bombay to think of possibilities of using your skill as an actor or as a performance maker, and just also like beyond this idea, like either you're an actor on stage or you're an actor on screen. Like it expands what you actually think theater is and can do. And I think I think just because of that nice space of the residential space and the online space, that kind of creates that thing where, you know, you really have to get your brain to work and like think about how do we do something that is not traditionally done like this. You end up like discovering a lot of cool stuff. So I think, yeah. Okay. I hope that was helpful, but you can contact me and ask me or whatever, message me and ask me if you have any other questions. But yeah.
Any questions? Please feel free to ask about anything at all.
You ask us how you do laundry also. Like even those questions totally work. Like kahan se snacks milte the aapko? Like we are very happy to tell you our sources.
किसी को कोई भी सवाल है तो आप कुछ भी पूछ सकते हो
please
about
पूछ
the residency. So please don't be shy and ask anything you want.
Ekta, let's go back to the original screen. Thank you. Any questions? That looks like a fun place, no? That looks like those people in the pictures were having a good time. Okay, Neelam is at least convinced. I don't know about the others. Anything at all that you want to know about your working day, about anything else? I don't know. I don't know what I'd be asking about. As a thing about, you know, you're already in Bombay, then why do I need to go to the residency? Can't I just do the in-city course? Those are valid questions, I think. And yes, you can, of course, choose to stay in Bombay and do the in-city course next year, because this year it's already begun. But honestly, I think what Meenakshi was saying is very, very true. And we know this, as people in Bombay, we are the first ones to criticize the city before anyone else points it out to us. You know, how crowded and how busy and how noisy and how cluttered life is when you're in the city. And as much as you try, it makes its way into the training. So even though you're spending the full day at school, you still go back to the same kind of noise and clutter and busyness and speed. But that's the residency where your 24 hours are used by the training. You're completely inside of that experience. You're with faculty, you're with other theater makers, people who are interested in theater. You find a community. The space is available to you whenever you want to use it. It's quiet, it's green, it's beautiful. So I mean, it's like a it's an atmosphere where you can truly just surrender to the training and discover yourself as artists. What an average day at the space looks like.
Can I answer this? Yeah.
Yes, Lekha, please, Sachit.
Yeah,
Sachit actually, he was one of the exceptional participants in the residency because he came in with a broken leg.
Yeah.
And he did it successfully. So, Sachit.
So was Meena.
Yeah, so was Meena. And Lekha, you can ask us the questions. Like if you're typing, you can obviously like say the questions if you want. You can talk to us. And I think a typical day at residency is a hectic day. आपको सुबह 7 बजे उठना पड़ता है और फिर आपकी सुबह सुबह मूवमेंट की या म्यूजिक की क्लास होती है. उसके बाद आपकी किसी और सब्जेक्ट की क्लास होती है. मूवमेंट और म्यूजिक दोनों साथ साथ चलता है. और फिर हमारा ब्रेकफास्ट होता है 10 साढ़े 10 के आसपास. ब्रेकफास्ट के बाद हमारी बहुत सारे सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं, बहुत सारी टेक्निक्स के अलग अलग फैकल्टी मेंबर्स होते हैं. शेक्सपियर, मूवमेंट, क्या कहते हैं उसको, स्क्रिप्ट एनालिसिस, सुजुकी जो अक्षय ने हमें सिखाया, इवन चाणक्य वाज देयर. तो फिर लंच के बाद आपकी एक और क्लास होती है. 5 बजे तक आपकी क्लासेस होती हैं. सुबह 7 से 5 तक आपकी क्लासेस चलती हैं. 5 बजे आपका टी ब्रेक होता है जिसमें आपको स्नैक्स मिलते हैं, चाय, और आप अपनी चाय पी सकते हो सामने पांडवगढ़ का व्यू देख के, पूरा ऐसा पहाड़ों पे खड़े होके. वी यूज्ड टू हैव 4-5 cups of tea and enjoy the view every evening. And after the tea break, you have your practice sessions for WCT, that is the weekly creation task, जो आपको हर मंडे असाइन होता है. और 6:30 से रात तक आप अपनी वीकली क्रिएशन टास्क की रिहर्सल करते हो. बीच में आपका डिनर होता है 8:30-9 o'clock पे. तो ऐसा एक पूरा दिन रहता है रेजिडेंसी का, सुबह 7 बजे से लेके रात को 10-11 बजे तक पूरा एक दिन रहता है। आप उसके बाद भी काम कर सकते हैं अगर आपको करना है तो, और बहुत अच्छा स्पेस रहता है। तो एक पूरा दिन होता है, पूरा आपका एक डे बहुत ही प्रोडक्टिवली यूज होता है, और आपके पास एक स्पेस होता है बहुत अच्छा जिसको आप यूज कर सकते हैं। तो ये अच्छा दिन रहता है।
So,
मीनाक्षी, if you want to add something, anything?
Just one thing I want to add, which is actually आप किसी भी वक्त जब मतलब क्लास नहीं हो रहा है, like for example before the day starts or after the day or in lunch break or whatever, many of my classmates have just gone and used this space completely for their own discovery, their own exploration, own practice. और ये luxury आपको कहीं नहीं मिलेगी, like that amount of space, and just no one's disturbing you. आपको मतलब like आपको मतलब चीखना है, चिल्लाना है to like explore like how loud your range can go. If you want to like roll on the floor, whatever, it's like such a zero judgment space, and it's
Yeah.
free, the space, which you don't get otherwise. Like otherwise, where do you get the luxury to being in a like a professional kind of a space that has all the equipment or whatever that you need, which is like floor. Like we have a nice wooden floor in one of the studios, for example, or a nice padded floor in one of the studios. So like that you don't get only anywhere. And I right now I wish I used it a lot more. So like I think that's one thing that's really amazing.
Thanks, Meena. There are two more questions. So, Ankit, there isn't anything such as the online course. There is the residential course and there is the in-city course. The in-city course entirely happens in person at the space at Cherney Road, where you travel every day and you train. The residential course is divided into a preparatory semester which happens online and a residential semester which happens at the residency. So the preparatory semester is 12 weeks long. You have 3 units, which are 4 week long units, at the end of which you have a 13 weeks long, sorry, and you have your, what is it called? Your collaborative creation labs. Okay. And your residency is 18 weeks long, at the end of which you have 5 weeks of playmaking. And the difference is that in city, you begin ensemble work on day one, you're working with your group. But in the residential course, for the first 3 months, your faculty is paying attention to you individually. And then you go into the space to do ensemble work and in-person work and physical work with everybody at the residency. So, Ankit, I hope that answers your question. So, no, there isn't an online element to the in-city course. But yes, there is an online element to the residential course, but it is a helpful element. It will not, please trust the fact that we have figured out how to train you online. It is not a frustrating experience of not being able to achieve anything online and only waiting for the physical in-person training to begin. It will actually give you the opportunity to explore things on your own and to focus on your individual growth. Okay, and the online semester is now way shorter than what it used to be during the pandemic. But the reason we are sticking to keeping it there is because we have seen how much of an advantage it has been to our students. We have seen how much they have grown through it. So we really believe in training you that way, which is why it's still there. Does DSM provide acting opportunities for students after the course? No, Vaishnavi, it's not like a engineering college where you have placements afterwards. But having said that, all our faculty members are practitioners. They are not just academics. They are practicing artists, and they are the ones who you end up working with after you graduate from school. So even right now, two out of the, I think maybe all three of them, I'm not sure, they're already working with some people they had as faculty to make professional work in the field. So what DSM comes with is both in terms of your alumni as well as in terms of your faculty members. They are all practicing artists. They are all a part of the practicing artists community in the world. And you organically kind of get absorbed into that community, into making work with them. So no, DSM doesn't officially offer any placements, but there will be enough kind of entry points for you to be able to work with people once you graduate. Who is eligible for a scholarship? So there is going to be an independent webinar that will talk about the fee structure, in which Ekta and her team is going to actually take you through the installment plan for paying fees, what kind of scholarships and fellowships are there, what kind of financial aid is there. So there'll be an independent webinar just focusing on fees and money. Okay, so look out for that, and you'll have all of these questions answered. More information about the EMI option, same webinar, you will get all your answers. What is the fees for both the courses, or an approximate range? All of these answers you will get in that webinar. Just attend that, and all money related, fee related questions will get addressed over there. Today we are here to actually talk about the experience of what it is like to train at the residency. Anything else?
We had a question about how many students would be there in a batch.
Max students in the course. So right now we're thinking of 32 students in the batch, which means 16 students per section. So all your classes happen between per section. So at any given point, you will not have more than 16 students in class. But on campus, you will have many more classmates. Also, they're making it sound like all they do is work, but there is also a TT table upstairs in that cafe space where they get into very intense table tennis tournaments. There is carom. There is all kinds of time they do over there.
Ice cream and kulfi on weekends.
Yeah.
Ordering on Zomato.
And
Is there a leave policy for the residency? So no, not really, unless these are really extreme circumstances, like you've fallen ill, then you need to leave campus and you get taken somewhere else. But for smaller illnesses on campus, there's a doctor available in Y that the DSM has found. You get taken to the doctor, you get your medicine, you can come back and rest in your room. There is also a strike system which has to do with attendance, which includes leaves for sick, like for illnesses, which includes leave for injury, all of that. But there is a minimum requirement of attendance. Residency program duration. So the residency course, as I mentioned, it includes an online semester as well as a residential semester. The online semester is 3 months long. Then you have a 3-week break and you go into the residency, which is 18 weeks of training. Rugved, does that answer your question? Rugved? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
I think someone also asked about, is there an audition process before the admission?
There is an audition process. You're required to first send in 2 things as a video. One is a performance of a monologue from a bank of monologues that you will be given by the school. You prepare that monologue, you record it very, very simply on your phone and you send it. The other is there is a video essay. So you're required to speak for about 2 to 3 minutes, not more than that, about your relationship with theater and what makes you so excited about the medium. You send these 2 things into the school. Then we select on the basis of these 2 things. Then whoever makes it to the next round also does their performances online. There are 3 rounds again for those auditions, where audition panelists now watch you. They give you instructions, they ask you questions, things like that. And then after that, there is a final list that goes up. So we always have this thing where, DSM doesn't really reject candidates. There is this belief that we try and look for people who are ready. So many a times students or participants are told that you're not ready yet, because feedback from audition panelists maybe you need a little bit more experience. Maybe you need to focus on some aspect of, your own kind of artistic choice of whatever. So there may be some kind of feedback about what you can work more on. And reapply. So we've had several people kind of apply over 2-3 years and then get in and then do the training. But yes, there is an audition process, and there will also be a webinar explaining the audition process once you have submitted your application. So once people have submitted their applications, for those people who have submitted the applications, there will be a webinar explaining in detail what the audition process is and how to prepare for it. Do you provide scholarships based on those auditions? No, the audition process has absolutely nothing to do with the scholarships. They are independent. Once you get into the school is when so you choose whether you want to be considered as a scholarship student right when you're applying itself. You understand fully from our team what the scholarships are like, but your scholarship interviews only happen after you're selected into the program. So we always say apply, get in, and then we can figure out the rest. There are support systems to help you figure out the rest. Yes, the entire audition process for the residential course happens online.
Do we have any more questions?
I just wanted to add on to something. Like, I think someone asked about the digital. I mean, they said online course, but calling it a digital semester, the preparatory semester. Like, I think one thing that really also helped me. I mean, the day was structured in a similar way. Like, our classes used to begin pretty early. Like, we used to have conditioning even then. The classes and maybe the script analysis or context for theater, and they used to go on, and even then we used to give we used to get assignments, we used to have reflections. Reflections is something where we used to note down what we like, what we understand, what we do not like, and used to submit to the school. One thing that really helped me during the online digital semester is that we used to have constant one-on-one scheduled also, like certain times, even if we cannot like ask certain things, or we don't understand that where do we stand in a like digitally looking at the screen. I haven't lived with you guys. I don't know you that well. I might not be comfortable enough to like ask you whatever I want to in a space like that. So ऐसा नहीं है कि classes खत्म होते ही फिर आप because where else do you get in touch with the faculty? But we used to have those sessions conducted regularly, and reflections were submitted regularly, and there were people who used to address all the concerns. So we used to have all our concerns addressed, and we used to have one-on-one sessions with our faculty members on a regular basis to know that where do we stand, and have those sessions regularly. Just wanted to add that.
So you get individual feedback from all of your faculty members. You have, as Vibanshu mentioned, one-on-one sessions where you're sitting and talking individually to faculty members to understand your own growth and your own journey with their subject. You also have a course leader to whom you can go and talk about your experience, your challenges, whatever. You also have a mentor who's there to support you emotionally and to kind of help you with whatever you may be struggling with. If it does come to that, the school also has a counselor who can help you with that. So there is a whole lot of pastoral care, which means support outside of your just the training. You know, the training and the learning is one thing, but we understand that it is very demanding. It is emotionally demanding, it is physically demanding. So a lot of students do go through lots of upheavals, ups and downs. You have doubts, you struggle, you wonder if you're going to be able to do it. You have good days, you have bad days, you have shitty days. So there is a whole pastoral care system in place where the school is there to look after you. There are enough entry points for you to be able to address it and talk about. You just be abandoned in your home every time you log off classes. There is enough space created so that you feel supported by the school. Chalo, now the only thing left is for you to apply. This is as much as we can go on about the course. And we're going on because we really believe in it. It's a wonderful course. We've seen some of the best artists, theatre makers, actors graduate from this course who are doing really significant work in the field, who are independent enough to apply to do their own work. They don't have to depend on people to cast them or people to call them. You know, that's one of the reasons that the DSM offers theatre making alongside acting, so that you don't always depend on other people to give you work. You can make your own work.
Yeah. Also, I like to add that when we are at the residency, we are living with our faculty members. So we have access to them all the time. So even after classes, you can go to them and ask questions, your doubts, and you can also share things about your life to them. You can have general conversations with them, and I think that is something that helps you more uh, when you just keep asking doubts to them. But if you have basic conversations with your mentors, so it really helps you. So आप लोग उन लोगों के साथ ही रह रहे होते हो, तो वो बहुत हेल्प करता है रेजिडेंसी में, आई थिंक. या
Is that it, more or less? I think we've covered most of the things. When is the next webinar? Ekta Sheetal, when is the next webinar?
22nd.
Okay, 22nd of September is the next one. Don't keep reconsidering so much. I'm telling you, apply, do your auditions, you get selected, and then think about what the challenges standing in your way are. You know, it's always possible to go or not go. That choice is always yours. But you can talk to many people who have actually gone through the audition process also. It is not one of those scary, debilitating, depressing processes. It is a very supportive process. You get feedback, you get handheld through the entire thing. Trust me, we have faculty members who teach at NSD, we have faculty members who have taught in other institutions who really compliment us on the way we support our applicants. So it doesn't matter to us that you're not students yet. You know, we will still make your life as easy as possible. We'll try and best to make it a fruitful experience for you, even the application and the auditioning process. So my suggestion to everybody is just apply and then you figure out the rest. If you're really excited about giving this a try as a career option, apply. Doubt to hamesha hota hai. We're all always struggling with doubt, right? Now take a leap of faith. Okay, thank you everyone for grant and questions.
There is one thing, Geenal, we have this, I think Geenal will be explaining us about the admission process and the
Okay.
form application process.
Over to you, Gina.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, hi. So I think the session was very informative. You have cleared all your doubts and queries which were there. If you have
Gina,
any,
your voice
do
is
attend.
breaking.
My voice is breaking. Hello, can you all hear me?
It was now.
Am I audible now?
Yes. Yes, Jinal.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I was saying that if you have any other queries, you can come in the next webinar session. I would be sharing the link to you all a day before so that you can register. And before the session starts, 1 hour before the session starts, I will share the link also. So I have copy pasted the application form link where you can purchase the application form after making the payment of 1,500. And you can download the application form or you can drop me a text message. Even I can share it with you all. And then probably you can fill the form and there would be a recruitment coordinator who would be helping you filling the form and attaching all the documents which are required for you to take the admissions, and then he will guide you on the audition process also. So we are there to help you. Just your main step would be mind the application form. And yeah, and tomorrow, I mean, we have a open day sessions also, which are going on. Few of you have already registered for it. We have a next open day session at 23rd September. So if you want to attend that session, do register for that also. And you can, I mean, meet faculty members one-on-one if you have any queries related to the course, any course, this course or the in-person course. You can come down to the school and have an in-person experience of the session. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah,
Sorry. I think there is some network issues at my
yeah.
end.
Your voice was not audible, Jinal. Can you please repeat the?
Okay, let me switch on. Connect my uh net, like my phone net. Just give me a minute.
Meanwhile, what is the last day